Hey guys, I didn't expect anybody to be on this stream, so that's okay. However, that's why I logged in a couple seconds early. Let's see. Wanted to talk about rucking. It's something I've mentioned in my other live streams, and God, I don't know how to test all my settings on the phone, so I'm hoping you can hear me okay. According to this, the mic's working fine, so let's hope it is. In any case, this is about rucking. Rucking is a physical activity. Okay, it's based on military movement, right? So any kind of light infantry, any kind of special forces, special ops. I mean, they live on their feet. They live with a rucksack on their back. The rucksack is what the military calls the backpack. I know it's dark out here. You probably can't see that, but I'm wearing a ruck. It's by, there you go. You can see the logo. There's goruck.com. They started off as an equipment company. I'd suggest you go to their website and there we go. I'd suggest you go to their website and check out what rucking is. You'll get a lot more information there. However, it's a fitness thing. It's a cardio thing, mostly, although you can add a lot more to it. They're now official partners with CrossFit. So they were separate for a long time. And then CrossFit and them teamed up somehow. So, hey, by the way, if you're here, say something in the comments. Let me know you're here. I appreciate it. And make sure to hit the like button and subscribe and hit the notifications button. So anytime I do something, you're made aware of it. And I sure appreciate you being here. But anyways, rucking is going out for time and distance or weight. So you can vary up the effects and what it does to you by how much weight you carry or how much time you spend on your feet rucking, carrying weight on your back. Or you can vary it up by the amount of distance. You can go a short distance and go a lot further. You can go a longer distance and maybe go lighter, whatever the case may be. You can vary it up. Here locally, I have a Go Ruck Club sanctioned by Go Ruck, at least before COVID. We got officially sanctioned the Ruckeyes, a play off the Buckeyes, of course. Uh, and So then COVID hit us, and we were growing, we were doing okay, and then COVID hit us and kind of killed the club. We couldn't meet, we couldn't do things early on. Of course, nobody knew exactly what COVID was or how it was going to affect anybody, so we canceled everything. And then when we got back together, when the COVID was over, I'm sorry, when the COVID was over, getting back together didn't happen. Everybody some people had gone through divorces, some people had gotten married, some people got new girlfriends, new jobs, and nobody's schedule seemed to work the same for the previous club members. So the club kind of died. So I've come to a point in my life where I believe cardio is the most important thing in my life right now in terms of health. And I really need to work on that. Not to an extreme level yet, but it needs to get to that way, right? I really need to catch up for some lost time, some sitting around being lazy for too long. And this is my beginning of that. I decided a couple days ago and had an idea. So this is one of the reasons I'm doing this live stream is, for one, just to do this version and to get rucking out there as part of my channel, because it's something I said I was going to talk about in the channel. So I wanted to get that out there. Two is I've got an idea for selection. Rucking comes from the special forces world. The GoRuck.com company was started by a special forces guy. It's very steeped in special forces culture, and I don't mean special forces in the generic broad sense. I mean it in the Army, United States Army Special Forces way. And any of you that know me personally know that I spent 10 years of my Army career working with and for special forces. It's the culture of the military that I come from, and that I kind of love it, to be honest. So GoRuck.com is steeped in those traditions, as well as a little bit of some Marine Corps and some SEAL stuff sprinkled in as well. And they do all kinds of events all around the world. That's why I have up here GoRuck.com. Go to the website, look it up, see what they do. It's a lot of amazing stuff. There's clubs, there's several different varieties of them of working you through workouts and setting up plans and so forth. But GoRuck.com has an event called Selection, which they only do once a year, and sometimes they don't even do it then. And it's by far the toughest physical challenge event on the planet. And you can watch that on The Standard on Hulu, is the TV show about it, The Standard. So that's why the banner says GoRuck.com. Go there, research rucking, find out more about what it is instead of me rambling. The Ruckeyes on Facebook, especially if you're local to me and you want to get in and get the club up and going again with me, or watch The Standard on Hulu. You can also watch a TV show on Hulu called 2 Weeks in Hell. 2 Weeks in Hell is about the real selection. So I'm bringing up selection combined with rucking to explain this. I've decided sometime in August, I'm going to do, even if it's just me, that's the goal. Even if it's just me, I'm going to do a selection, a personal selection modeled after the real one, which I went through in May 1992 and completed and got non-select. So we'll talk about that in another live stream. But I did that in 1992, 30 years ago, crazy enough, a little bit, almost 31 years ago. And that was sort of the peak of my life physically and sort of mentally in terms of pushing myself and those kind of things. So I decided if I did it then, I could at least do a similar version today. So I'm going to spend the next 7.5 months training hard, working up towards a personal and maybe even a club if we get enough people involved, 3-day selection. So I'm just going to give the basics here, and then I'm going to go for a ruck is the idea. So day one is going to be similar to week one of the real Special Forces assessment and selection. Day one will be basically, and this is all skeletonized in my head right now. It's sort of the draft copy, so to speak. But day one will be a PT test, going to model that after 1990s Army PT test. So day one will be a PT test. And then I'd like to do a swim test in full gear, quote, full gear the SFAS was basically your uniform and boots. And you had to do an Olympic sized pool in uniform, essentially. Not gear as in your ruck or anything. So you got to swim that. So I'd like to do the PT test, the swim, then come back and do another event of some sort. During week one of the real selection, you had to do a 3-mile timed run, a 4-mile timed run, and a 5-mile timed run. And I'd like to do probably a 3, maybe even do I don't know. We'll see. We'll work it out as we go. But anyways, that'll be day one. Day two will be modeled after week 2 of Special Forces assessment and selection, which is individual week. On individual week in the real one, you go out and do a pretty serious ruck in the wee hours of the morning, come back and hang out for the middle of the day, and then later in the day, when it starts to get dark again, you go out for another one. And it's land nav. Some of it's through woods, some of it's roads. Back in my day, at least, it's changed a little. And so you're doing basically a shit ton of mileage and pain on your feet. And you do that 5 days in a row, where there's 2 land nav movements during those 5 days, and then a forced ruck march somewhere in the middle or at the end of the day, one of the two. And then they would keep you awake all night with sleep deprivation, making you draw maps of the United States and all kinds of other goofy stuff. So we would like to do a day 2 here where we have 2 movements, 2 individual movements, where it's just you versus you is the idea. It's you pushing yourself to complete the task or not pushing yourself to complete the task and failing on yourself, not on anybody else. And then week 3 in selection is team week. Day 3 here. So I'm sorry, team week in real selection is where they put you together in teams of 10 to 14 based on how many are in the Special Forces Assessment Selection class, SFAS. And they have you do some crazy tasks, and we can get into those in another live stream. I want to keep this under 10 minutes. And then, so you got all kinds. And if you watch 2 Weeks in Hell on Hulu, that's the show about the real Special Forces selection. If you watch that, you'll see Team Week, and that's where they get all these goofy tasks they got to do. And you gotta carry a telephone pole. You gotta hand make an axle with galvanized steel pipe, a couple tires, some rope, some lashings, and a giant telephone pole. We called it the Trojan Dick. So you got to lash all that together, and you got to push that. I don't know how far that movement was. Several of the movements, it seemed like one a day was 10 clicks, which is 6.2 miles. So anyways, so we want to do a team week here, and the team week we would do on day 3, if I have a group of people to do it with, would be basically a Go Ruck event type day. And in those, they usually put you in groups of 10 to 12, and you have a bunch of stuff to carry, like workout sandbags, big water jugs, ammo cans, grab a couple logs out of the forest and make a few people carry those. And you do those in Go Ruck events. And so anyways, want to do that on day 3, representing week 3 of the real selection, as well as sort of paying homage, so to speak, to the Go Ruck company itself and the way they run events. So anyways, this would be a 3-day event that I just do here locally, probably right here at my house and the local area. It may turn into something big, and it may be just me and my son, because he told me he's going to do it with me. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, that's what's going on. Coming right up on 10 minutes. I'm going to close this out, and then I'm going to go for I'm planning a 2-mile ruck tonight. I did a 4-mile day before yesterday and got massive blisters on my heel because I haven't been doing anything. So we'll see. I just need to push through the blisters, but I also don't want to make anything worse for the benefit of training coming up. So in any case, I'm out of here. Thanks for supporting. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications for anything else I got coming up. Have a good night, everyone. We'll talk to you later.